Namaste and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I'm Yamajit. I'm so very glad you could join me this evening for part 21 of our series of meditations on the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. This is, like I said, part 21, and we'll be talking about how everything is consciousness. So a quick announcement before we begin. This coming Friday at 7 o'clock, will be our monthly Yoga Nidra. And we'll be doing a special Yoga Nidra for depression and low energy. So hopefully you can either join us at 7 o'clock, either on YouTube or in person at our temple, and you can always watch the recorded broadcast later. I'm going to go ahead and pan the camera back around to our altar because we're going to begin with our opening puja. And by the way, I got a brand new camera, and pretty soon we will hopefully not be able to do that. I should be able to just zoom in on the altar next time. Stay tuned. So at this point, I invite you to take a nice, comfortable seat, either sitting on your mat with a cushion under your hips like I'm doing, or you can always participate in these meditations sitting in a straight back chair as well. But I invite you to close your eyes and breathe deeply, keeping your back straight, chest open. Take a moment for grounding, for centering, clearing the mind, and preparing for the work that we're about to do. Giving this time to yourself for exploration, for learning, and as always, for becoming closer to that divine presence within yourself. And there's some people I'd like to remember before we begin our puja. The Hollinsby family, the Anu Thomas family of Bangalore, India. I'd also like to remember some of our other friends, Rafa and Susan, Bryce and his family, and our friend Achila as well. So I invite you now to bring the palms of your hands together at your heart center, and we'll open our practice by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale. Pavitra Sarvavastam Gatopiva Yashmare Padarikaksham Sabhyavyanta Sushi Om Shuklam Baralam Vishnum Sashivanam Shatubhijam Prasnava, 'Prasnavanandaya Sarva Vigna Prasantaye. 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 Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshvara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guru Namaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamaye Sagandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarakamiva Bandhanan Vichur Mukshya Mamritat. Om Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Shama Shiva Datri Svasvada Namostute Jayatvam Devi Chamunde Jayabhutita Harani Jaya Sarvagate Devi Kalaratri Namostute. Jai Ma Kali. Ram 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 Yam Ham Om. 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 Jai Ma. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Mata Di. So I invite you now to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and again use this time to relax and clear your mind. And begin to take a careful look at yourself. And make note of all the people in your life that you may subtly judge, even in just the back of your mind, as inferior, or for whom you hold yourself apart from in some way. Just take your time with this. Some of them, it may be obvious, others may be very, very subtle. You may be even masquerading in your mind as other forms of discrimination. Begin to feel how any sense of superiority in you creates a sense of separation from others. And how this sense causes your heart to contract, to block itself off. And once you've identified the people you hold yourself separate from, remind yourself in this meditation that there is only one loving, compassionate consciousness everywhere. And that which you hold dear is also present in these other people just as much as it is within you. They all contain that same divine presence. So hold the thought. There is nothing other than this one reality. There is nothing other than this one reality. There is nothing other than this one reality. Until your sense of separation dissolves in the sublime recognition of your oneness with everyone and everything. Everyone and everything are one. Everyone and everything are one. Everyone and everything are one. And remember that we are all reflections of that same divine universal consciousness. As you hold those thoughts, listen to these verses from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. The reality of consciousness is everywhere, even in common folk. Contemplating there is nothing other than this one reality, you will enter into the great non-dual state. That's verse 124. See friend and foe as equal. Honor and dishonor is the same. Knowing the self to be complete and full, you will become perpetually happy. And that's verse 125. Dwell on neither aversion nor attachment toward anyone, and remain in the center, free from both of these. Divine awareness blossoms within your heart. That's verse 126. So I invite you now to take a deep and a clearing breath. Let go of the meditation for a moment. Check in with yourself, just see how you're feeling. Notice any effects the meditation may have had. Maybe there's a bodily region that you're particularly aware of at this point. And then very slowly open your eyes, just keeping a relaxed gaze. So our spiritual ego is one of the most difficult aspects for us to recognize within ourselves. This meditation on seeing oneness of all life, really a variation of many in this particular scripture, emphasizes the conscious inclusion of those people and things that we judge to be inferior or in some way different, or that we have no connection for. We feel there's no connection. Even these, particularly these, are to be included in our practice of seeing the divisive presence that is everywhere in everything and everyone. And this meditation addressed any sense of one might have of spiritual superiority that we may be inadvertently, maybe even unconsciously participating in. Any judgment or sense of difference toward others stunts our perceptions and blocks our sense of oneness with all that there is. And the same consciousness is in those whom we feel are ordinary or not spiritually awake. Street people, the lost, those seemingly unconscious, those perceived as ignorant or poor, deluded, those of a different race or culture or orientation, or even just those of the other political party for that matter. So to meditate on that same consciousness in all of these people is really a powerful way to keep that sense of separation from others, keeping that sense of separation from working its way into our hearts and to minds, and instead developing a stronger sense of compassion. So I invite you to close your eyes again. And once again, begin breathing deeply, letting go of the previous meditation. And preparing for the next experience. And so now I invite you to repeat these words I'm going to say silently to yourself. We're going to do this 3 times. That which cannot be known, that which cannot be grasped, that which is void, that which penetrates even non-existence. I contemplate that all this, too, is nothing but consciousness. Let's repeat this again. That which cannot be known, that which cannot be grasped, that which is void, that which penetrates even non-existence. I contemplate that all this too, is nothing but consciousness. Let's repeat this one more time. That which cannot be known, that which cannot be grasped, all which is void, that which penetrates even non-existence. I contemplate that all of this is nothing but consciousness. So take a minute now and just silently meditate on the meaning of these statements and how they apply to your own being. That which cannot be known, that which cannot be grasped, that which is void, that which penetrates even non-existence. All of this should be contemplated as consciousness. It will end in enlightenment. That's verse 127 of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So I invite you now to take a deep and clearing breath. Again, notice the effects of the meditation, how you're feeling at the moment. And then again, I invite you to slowly open your eyes again, keeping a relaxed gaze. So this meditation was designed to expand our minds far beyond its familiar boundaries, expanding it into the idea that everything else in the universe is made of consciousness. And those things that surround us are appearing to us as consciousness and through our own consciousness. So by stating that even the seemingly unknowable aspects of our experience too are consciousness, we're able to include them as part of the whole. So as we contemplate this, as we meditate on this, we cease being alienated from our own thoughts, and we automatically enter into that state of unity, that state which really all of these meditations in our Tantra are designed, and each in their own way, to do. So again, I invite you to close your eyes, keep that comfortable straight-backed position, long, slow, deep yogic breathing. Clear your mind from the previous experiences. So I invite you now to focus on or recall a memory of some expansive external space. Maybe the night sky. If you were looking at the moon on Sunday and the total eclipse. Maybe the atmosphere, or vast desert, or maybe the ocean. Maybe even something in your own imagination. Just let your awareness open and extending it out into the natural beauty. And let yourself feel how the very nature of the space is eternal, without support, empty, all-pervading, free from limitation. And just stay with the feeling of each of these qualities and allow them to take you into that great state beyond all space and all thought. Focus your attention on any external expanse of space and contemplate that the very nature of the space is eternal, without support, empty, all pervasive, and free from limitations. With practice, you will enter the great state beyond space. It's the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, verse 128. So again, take a deep and clearing breath and let go of this experience. Take a moment again and just check in with yourself and see how you're doing at the moment. So this meditation reflects on the theme of other meditations that we've practiced in this series that come from the scripture. In this exercise, we focused on external space, as we have actually in other exercises, and we added to our meditation the consideration of the qualities of this space and what it has in common with pure awareness. Awareness that is eternal, independent, empty, all-pervasive, and limited. Because these qualities of space are familiar to us, they provide a clear example of how each of these more transcendent aspects of our awareness and how by meditating on these qualities we can begin to feel them and sense their true nature. We allow our mind to expand and we find ourselves in that wonderful state beyond all thought. So I invite you now to keep breathing deeply and just look around you, look around the space that you're in. Wherever the mind goes or whatever you become fixed on, something external or thought within, immediately withdraw it. Withdraw from it. Withdraw from that thought. Withdraw from that object. So look around as you find yourself fixating on something, withdraw from it. And just take a moment and do this over and over and over. And so by having nothing to lean on, your mind will gradually become free from agitation. And it can then return to its original home. The open awareness of your true self. Just allow yourself to rest there. So wherever the mind goes, immediately withdraw it. Having nothing to lean on, your mind becomes free of agitation. So that's verse 129 of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So again, take a deep, clearing breath. Letting go of the experience. Check in with yourself, see how you're feeling, notice the effects of this meditation. This is another of those meditations you can practice anytime, anywhere. And slowly open your eyes if they were closed. So this is another variation of a meditation that is designed to bring you into a thought-free state. In other words, the mind's natural state of a relaxed, spacious awareness. So in this open space, thoughts, images, feelings all appear and disappear. Comes when you let it go. So our attention can move from our spacious awareness into any of these dimensions of experience. And this is natural, and this is how we explore life. Problem comes is when we forget to return to our true self because we become fixated on something external or something internal. So it's the act of consciously returning to your true self that lies at the core of all spiritual practices. So in this type of meditation, we become alert to the moment the mind fixates on anything, and we just immediately let it go, we withdraw it. And when we do this, whether it's an external object or an internal feeling or a thought, it really doesn't matter. It could be any of these things. And once we can feel this pattern of movement and then fixation, which is in itself an important thing to observe, we then practice immediately letting it go, withdrawing our mind from that object or thought. And for a moment then, our mind returns to its source, that source of open awareness. The untrained mind immediately goes out again to another object to lean on. And it can be surprising to realize how addicted our mind can be to leaning on objects and how unfamiliar our mind is and can be with returning again to open awareness and just resting there for a while. So rather than trying to stop the mind, this practice focused on our ability to move our attention and to bring it back to open awareness and be able to do this at will and just simply not allowing our minds to fixate on anything. And this can be a helpful approach in practice, especially if we can practice this form of meditation playfully. So in the days ahead, I invite you to see how long you can go before becoming fixated on something. How long can you go before landing on something? You can start maybe with 5 seconds. You can begin to develop some confidence. See if you can extend that longer and longer. And just remember, you're not the movements of your mind, you are the awareness in which movements occur. Focused mind is this amazing tool that you possess, and your mind will respond to clear, repeated directions. And so I invite you to try this practice both with open eyes like we did in this exercise. You can also try it with closed eyes and just practice withdrawing from thoughts, from feelings, mental pictures, ideas. And if you do this with open eyes, again, just keep the gaze relaxed and gently moving and very soft. So I invite you to close your eyes again. Breathe deeply. Relax. And again, clear your mind. In this meditation, we're going to meditate on the names of our 2 deities, like a mantra. So now I invite you to repeat the name Bhairava. Repeat it silently to yourself. Bhairava. 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 Just notice the qualities the name brings up, its energies. What the name invokes for you, thoughts, feelings, mental pictures, memories, so on. Now take a deep and clearing breath. Now I invite you to repeat to yourself the name Bhairavi. 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 Vijnana like you did before, and just allow yourself again to silently witness what the name invokes in your realm of awareness. And then take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of this experience. Now silently meditate on the effects that repeating these names had on you. These were the masculine and feminine, the Shiva and Shakti aspects of the same name. Just think for a moment on how the effects were similar and how they were different. Bhairava, dispeller of fear, giver of all, the one who pervades the entire universe. Increasingly repeat the name Bhairava and become one with consciousness. Verse 130 of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So I just take a deep and clearing breath. Let go of this meditation and again just check in with yourself and see how you're feeling. What was the overall effect of repeating those two deity names? And then I just received a request to repeat a line from a commentary on the previous meditation. So I'm going to backtrack just a little bit on that. I'm having trouble finding the exact line on my script at the moment. So I'm going to go on just discuss the meditation we just did. And, oh, okay. So the void, okay. I was thinking it was just the previous one. So let me go back to that. again. Sorry. Please bear with me on this. I'm still not finding. It might have been something I was saying extemporaneously. I would say maybe listen through the recording again and then give me a message if you still have some questions. And sorry, I'm not finding the exact line. But coming back to the divine names, Bhairava and Shakti are two of the many names in this tradition given to consciousness. And the state of oneness personified by both Lord Shiva and the Divine Mother as well, really two sides of the same coin. So you can practice this same meditation using the name of any divine figure that you choose: Kali, Vishnu, Buddha, Jesus, Brahma, Krishna. They're all pathways to the same source. So meditating on a specific deity name is a wonderful way to explore the qualities of a divine being that's you're feeling close to and its meaning in your life. And you can also combine this meditation with Tratika, that is visual meditation, while looking upon an image of your chosen deity while silently repeating over and over again the name to yourself as a mantra. And then just noticing what comes into your awareness with it. Specifically, the name Bhairava and Bhairavi represents the fearless aspect of our state of oneness. When we repeat these names, while remaining aware of this name, what the name represents, which is dispeller of fear, giver of all, and the one who pervades the entire universe, our mind begins to resonate with those qualities. And our awareness shifts from our separate individual identity to the state of being one with divine consciousness. So I hope you enjoyed those meditations. I invite you to take another deep and clearing breath, bringing the palms of your hands together at your heart center. Taking a moment to once again find that divine presence within yourself. Remembering it is always there to give you guidance. Giving gratitude to yourself for taking the time to take part in these practices. Listening to our benediction. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Blessings always. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Mata Di. Thank you so very much for joining me. So I hope you can join me Friday evening, 7 o'clock, either here on YouTube or in person at our temple, 1260 South Xavier Street in Denver, Colorado, 7 p.m. for Yoga Nidra. And as always, if questions come up, comments, please feel free to email me at the temple email, omcdevi, D-E-V-I, at gmail.com. That's omcdevi at gmail.com. Till then, have a wonderful night, a wonderful couple of days ahead. See you soon. Thank you again. Jai Ma, Namah Shivaya, and good night.